Therapy very much is about, I think, at the core, building a new relationship with yourself, building a relationship with yourself, an emotional relationship with yourself. Your two parts. You have an adult part, a kid part. Until you were 12, 13 was just that kid part. That's your inner child. You absorbed a whole bunch of things growing up, came into the world looking for love, a sense of self. Am I safe, secure, good, worthy, deserving? All those things. Trying to get that from your family growing up. You're in that home environment 24/7, picking up messages about yourself. Then come the school years, and those things repeat. And then on to our relationships throughout life. And then here you are as an adult, and we've gotten some good things, a good sense of self, and some other areas we're still struggling with over the years where we don't feel enough acceptance, love, validation. So we continue to seek it externally, and we'll come up with all kinds of coping mechanisms and tools to deal with that. That's all your addictions, um, avoidance behaviors, manipulation behaviors, getting angry, blaming other people. Um, there's a bunch of emotion that still needs to be processed. There's an inner kid part. There's parts of ourself that didn't resolve. There's a false sense of self, false beliefs. I'm no good. I'm not capable. I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy of love. I won't be loved. I'm not safe. I'm not secure. All of that is sitting in there. Okay. And then what happens is that part is still with you. That is a kid part that desperately wants your attention in order to heal it and to grow and to overcome that. It's just that we don't know what to do with it. We don't know how to take care of it. And we've been running away from it and avoiding it a really long time. And it gets draining and it gets difficult. And this is at the heart of all of your emotional triggers, which means anytime you notice yourself having a very strong emotional reaction to something that somebody says, certain types of things people say, certain types of situations, certain types of people that you work with. That's that part of you that's coming up because there's something in that current moment with that person or that situation that is similar and it's putting you in touch with some familiar feelings. Contrary to what a lot of people say, when people say, you make me so angry, but the truth is that no one makes us feel anything. There's a part of you that has a bunch of feelings and it's been with you a long time, forever. That's the emotional baggage people talk about or wounds that we carry. But those feelings are there. They're yours. The person that's triggering you in the moment, the argument you keep having with your partner that really gets you worked up, much more than any other argument, that part, those are your feelings. The person or the situation is just the most current situation trying to put you in touch with those feelings. The way that you respond when those feelings come up, that's the very behavior or the way of speaking to yourself or speaking to others or reacting that leads people to want to seek out therapy and support and help and growth or to try to change or try to grow because the emotions come up and we run. You're either avoiding in life the emotions that come up that try to get your attention or you're facing them, connecting to them, healing with them, getting to know them. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Stick with me. And it's about, so, but it's not your fault. We've been on our own, since a kid in an emotional environment around our parents, watching them interact with us, watching them interact with each other, picking up a sense of self, and then carrying that with us throughout all the years until now that you're an adult, trying desperately to figure out ways to deal with it. And a lot of it is avoiding. And this is the drinking and drugging, the self-medication a lot of people do. Those strong feelings, let's say, of insecurity come up, medicate it, make it go away, blame others, manipulate, avoid, project it onto other people. So those are the very behaviors, whatever behavior that you're struggling with, harsh inner critic, get raging and angry at people, manipulate, lying, not telling the truth, whatever the behaviors that you notice in yourself or the way of treating yourself that you notice, or whatever repeating pattern you see that's going on within you, the very things that would bring you to seek out help and support, that's the very thing that needs your attention. And again, like I said, it's not our fault. No one really teaches us what to do with it. We don't have much emotional vocabulary. We don't even realize we're two parts, an adult and a kid. We think it's just one. And then we can't understand why sometimes we're so confident and sometimes we really struggle. Not your fault, but that you're here is awesome. And I think it takes tremendous courage to say, hey, enough. I want to start facing instead of avoiding. And that's what it's about. I want to give you that first tool. I want to see you jump in because I know and I've seen over 15 years of working with clients online, video calls, text messaging, audio messaging. What I've seen is that there's so much that we can do on our own to help us grow. In fact, the clients I see that do really well in therapy are doing a lot of work in between the sessions. It's one of the reasons I really got excited about using text messaging in between the sessions to be more present and available to clients as they're growing, as they're healing. Because think about it, you're with yourself 24/7, 365. There's so many opportunities to learn a new way of being with yourself, or you keep reinforcing those old ways of being. Let's get into it. Let's jump into it. I want to show you a tip and a tool to get you started today. And the truth is that if you practice this and start to work with it, you will see a lot of growth and a lot of change. So I want you to pause the video and I'll wait for you. I'll be here. I want you to go to Google and search feelings chart, FEELINGS chart, search feelings chart. I want you to pick one that you like. It's just a listing of words because we don't have emotional vocabulary. Happy, sad, angry. So pause it, go search for one. As you're watching this video, I want you to have it. And I want you to follow along. And I'm going to post a chart here. You should see it soon when you come back. And I'll talk you through it, how to use it. So welcome back. Okay. Now you have your feelings chart. What we want to start to do is practice being there for ourselves instead of avoiding. We want to not be a victim. We want to be empowered. We want to take some action, to be nurturing, to build a relationship. What's a relationship? Get to know somebody, right? What happens when you meet a new person? You start talking, sharing ideas, information, stories, spending time together. Most of us are running and avoiding parts of ourselves, right? We're always on the phone. We're always around friends, but we never really sit with our feelings and thoughts. Not your fault. You don't know what to do. I'm going to tell you what to do. With this feelings chart, this is your tool to not be scared or afraid or avoidant of situations in which emotions will come up. You want to say, bring it on, because those are great opportunities to get to know yourself. And the first step, the first action step, instead of avoiding it or running it, is just to take a few seconds, okay? And to begin to get to know the feelings. Now, just here's a little caveat. When you are highly triggered, highly emotional, and you're in the process of talking with somebody, it's pretty hard to, at the same time, simultaneously process your feelings. You may be able to, like, let's say you're on the phone with somebody, you can get off the phone, or you're suddenly triggered by something, but you're by yourself. If that's the case, then in the moment, you can start to connect with what you're feeling. If not, you can 10 minutes later, half hour later, 10 hours later, reflect back on a moment where emotions were present, very intense, and start to connect with what you feel. And so do it now. You can think of a time recently in which you were strongly emotionally triggered. You had a very strong emotional reaction. Something really got you bothered or worked up or fearful or anxious or nervous or insecure. There was a strong reaction. We don't typically know what we feel. This is where the feelings chart comes into play. And you can do as little as 10 seconds, 20 seconds a day. It should just be a listing of words. But you want it in your mind to climb back into that recent moment or a memory. You might have a memory of something, an argument with your parents that you had a year ago. If you think about that, call it to mind right now as we're talking, the emotions are still sitting right there. It's pretty amazing. They're waiting for us. That's our inner child begging for time, begging for some attention from us, to be connected to be heard, to be understood. And so we're going to get you started. So pick your moment, whatever that moment is, and don't feel limited just for the purposes of this exercise to get to know it. But as you are thinking about a recent moment in which you were triggered, a strong emotional reaction, you may want to also, as a side note, you may want to note, is the reaction strong than kind of seems to fit the situations? Because there's something about that moment that's very familiar to things I've been through in the past and it desperately wants my attention. So as you think about that moment, try to see if you can get in touch with yourself first. Where in the body do I notice the feelings coming from? In the throat, tightness in the chest, in the gut, the neck, back of the neck, the back. Where do you notice it? Just to start connecting with you. Remember, what we've been doing is avoiding and running. We want to now start to connect in any way possible. So you're thinking about that moment. Now you're aware of where in the body there are emotions emanating from. And by the way, the inner child part, you can check out some of my other videos about inner child. The inner child part is very connected to the body and physicality. So as you're thinking about that, now I want you to just take a look at your feelings chart and just allow your eyes to start to glance down through the list of words. Sometimes there's a circular chart with a lot of colors a lot of people like, and at the top of it, there's a major word and the words underneath it are related. Just as you're looking through it, just note, and you may want to take a pen and paper and write it down. Long term, I suggest that because we want to express, we want to get it out. We want to have some notes of it. It's helpful. But you just want to note some of the words that actually fit. If you don't know what the word means, just keep moving. If you see a word that fits, great. Don't explain, don't justify, don't rationalize. Oh, I feel that word because of this and this. If the word fits, great. If not, move on. And see if you can't grab 5, 7, 8 words. And what you just noticed is instead of just I'm angry, it just became deeper. I really just heard myself in detail. So what you've just done is the equivalent of if a good friend comes to you and say, I need to talk, and you put your phone down, you give them your full attention, and you listen, you give them yourself. You just did that for yourself. Your adult part just did that for that inner kid part. It only took 30 seconds. Do that every day for 30 seconds, 20 seconds, a minute. There's more that you can do with the feeling words, but that we'll work on in another video. Just give yourself a week and 30 seconds a day to tend to your self-emotion, to have an emotional moment with yourself, to begin to practice having a relationship. We don't want a long-distance relationship with ourselves. We want a real relationship with ourselves. And that's the healing. And that's what therapy is about. That's what personal growth and development is all about. Building a healthy emotional relationship with ourselves, getting to know ourselves, becoming aware, becoming in touch. So how does that inner kid talk to us? It's kind of strange. How does a part of me talk to me? Well, as I tune in and I'm aware of feelings, and I look at these words and I allow it to give me suggestions of what might name the feelings I feel, that's me listening and tuning in. Because we don't have emotional vocabulary, most of us. But this process will build up and develop your emotional vocabulary. You are tuning in, you are listening, you are paying attention. It is a very validating act. You're building self-validation because you're saying, I'm worth the time to tune into what I feel. And as you notice the words and you don't judge them, you're practicing unconditional acceptance. There's a lot going on in one simple exercise. But the main thing is consistency, to show up for yourself every day, even if it's only a few seconds. I've had people use a feelings chart to help talk themselves through panic attacks. Some people will put a feelings chart as a JPEG on their phone, and on a coffee break or a bathroom break, when they're triggered at work, they take a look at it and then just sit with themselves. It's not about how much time you do it to begin with. It's about the consistency of showing up regularly for that part, saying, I am truly interested in a relationship with you, as evidenced by the fact that here I am, I keep showing up, I keep connecting. Try it out. Let me know what you think. Fill up the comments. I want to hear how it's going. If you want more, be in touch with me and we'll go deeper into it. Thank you for being here. Please give us a subscribe. It helps us build the channel and make more great videos like this. Likes are also welcome, and lots of shares. People are out there who need to hear these ideas to help them grow and to help them heal. Talk more soon.